Good morning to everybody. I am BISWAS, Academic Counselor of IGNU. So today, the course is MMPH001. That is Organizational Theory and Design. And it is a specialized course for the third semesters. So today, I will try to cover the block 1. Before that, just see the overview of the blocks, the course material, the syllabus of the particular this course. So there are 5 blocks. Block 1 is understanding the organizations, and there are 3 units regarding your understanding the organizations, theories, and the effectiveness of the organizations. So first block I'll cover up these 3 units. The second block is your basics of the organizational structure, regarding the organizational structure. And there are 2 units, unit number 4 and 5, the fundamentals of organizational structure and the factors affecting the organizational structure. What are the factors? It may be external or maybe internal. The factors or which is influencing the structural process. So that's part of block number 2. Now, block 3 is organizational design. So there are so many organizational designs there. Topologically, it is maybe flat type or your hierarchy type, pyramid type, different shape is there. So vertical, horizontal, so many topological different design is there. That is a part of your unit number 6. And then unit number 7 is contemporary organizational design. That is explained there. Block number 4, your job design, where there are 2 units again, unit number 8 and 9. That is the approaches of the job design, regarding the job design. And unit number 9 is your emerging trends and the work. Then block number 5 is your internal dynamics. Again, there are 2 units, unit number 10 and 11. It's the role of organizational culture and design and organizational conflict. So this is the total your particular syllabus of the units and the different blocks. Now today I try to cover the block number 1 for understanding the organizations. Again, in-depth detailing for the unit 1. Further, it contains the approaches of the understanding organization, their meaning and characteristics of the organizations. Then organizational system, we have to discuss about the systems. Then different approaches of the organizations, including the 7S model also. Then unit number 2, again, the theoretical frameworks, where some of the historical perspectives we have to discuss, some pre-classical era, classical organizational theories, then neoclassical approaches, modern theories. That part is your unit number 2. And unit 3 is organizational effectiveness, how to create organizations, how to be a good effectiveness. Then what are the determinants of the organizational effectiveness, evaluation of the effectiveness, and how to make organizations effective. Then different case studies, then evaluating the branch performance, etc. Now let's see first, try to understand what is the meaning of the organizations. So as we know, when the group of people are collected to work for a common goal with a collective efforts, here we can see an organization works through the 2 concepts. Basically, when people are working together, and there are 2 concepts are in the behind, that is your coordination and delegations. So every employees or it has to be, they are coordinated each other's in a coordinated manner. They have one their work as per the job as assigned, and some delegation of the power. This is my responsibility. This is the task I have to perform, and I have to do it. So among the group members, delegation is necessary to allocate the group members with the equal work accordingly to their capacity, their capability, and coordination is required to achieve the organizational goal with decisions. So This is the way the organizations we can define. There are so many other ways are also there to defining the organizations. Organizing. Now, the key organizing is basically the subject of the larger activity of the managing. It is a process by which the structure of the organizations is created and maintained. The process includes, there are so many processes are there. The determination of the specific activities necessary to accomplish the objectives. You have some objectives, and to reach there or to perform the objectives, you should have some process. So, and some of the elements or the your determinants has to within this involvement, and the activities are there. That has to be done. The group of the activity and assigning these to specified position, different positions are there. The persons has to do to perform their duties, keeping on view of the company's goal and objectives. The creation of a network of the positions, persons for the purposes of the planning, motivation, communication, coordination, and control. These all are the creation. Within this total the network. Within this network, you have to perform. There should be a communication scheme, communication systems, and some motivation is required. Plan, obviously, the plan is in the top. Plan is always required to do these things. And lastly, the control should be there. Coordinating and control should be there, and feedback of all these things. So that is the way the organizing the things. Every system should have some organizing the things. Organizations. Now there are so many characteristics are there. Organization has a central coordination center. So organizations always is some just like our brain, where everything are controlling things, decision making process and other things. So organization is a differentiated internally. So there are so many departments, so many activities are going on. So everywhere in a staggered way, and some interlinks are there. Then organization is a legitimate. Then organization's characteristics established with what is achieved based on this. Flexible. Then organization is a part of the societal transformation. What are the transformations? Some should have some inputs or some activities are there that has to be output. Before that, some transition period is there. You have to transform particular as per your objectives. So this is the way some of the characteristics are defined. Now systems. Now we are talking about the systems. The organizations are the systems with some interacting components. There are some of the components are there which are interacting always. The below framework emphasize there are 4 internal components such as tasks, people, technology, and the structure. There are 4. You can see the 4 pillar, 4 main things are there in this framework. That internal components are is a core component we can see for the systems. These 4 components, along with the organizational inputs and outputs, are the key elements in the task environment. The tasks of the organization is the mission, the purpose of the goal, and the existence. People are the human resources of the organizations. Though what are the people within the organizations? The people are basically the human resource. They are one of the resource. There are raw materials, other things. There even in the production sales, everything. Where the materials are, these are resources, including the human is a human resources, like I talked. The technology is a wide range of tools. The technology is the tools, knowledge, or the techniques used to transform the input into output. So whatever your inputs, that has to be transformed, and you have to see the output. In this case, fulfill the objectives. In this case, input to complete the job, to reach the objectives, you should have some process, and basic inputs are required. Resources are required, and that is all the actions plans, all the activities are defined, tasks is already defined, and they have to accordingly do these jobs. as per the system. Within the system, they have to do it. So, for example, just our human body systems, their brain is their kidneys, liver, and other heart. Everybody, all the components, they are acting. They are performing their duties. They are kidneys performing their duties, liver is duties. But there are some coordination is there, and it is controlled by the brain. Ultimately, all these things are controlled by the brain. So organizations are like this also. All the components are performing their job, and ultimately in a coordinated way and reach to the objectives. We are taking a food. Suppose we are taking food for what? Because to get energy, so that we can perform the jobs accordingly. So same thing in the organization, they require some of the inputs to perform the things. The structure is how work is designed at the micro level as well as the your departmental wise. It's different divisions have a different work there. And overall organizations are designed in the macro level, because one is the micro level, departmental wise, all the department of finance, marketing, your HRM, all the different, in the micro level, they have some design and they have some assigned to particular jobs, particular things, tasks are there, activities are there. And everybody has to perform accordingly. Similarly, as a macro level, you have to overall company performance, outer world correspondence, effect factors are to be there within the systems. So with these major internal components of the organizations as a systems, so there is the organization tasks environment such as the suppliers, customers, and the regulators. These are all are the considering as an environment, outer environment. So from this structure, the organizational system has been defined. There is the organizational system. The components are there. There are, as I said, there is structure, the technology, people, and tasks. There are 4 organizational boundaries are there, and some inputs are there. Input basically the materials, then the capitals, manpower, basically the humans. These are all are the inputs, and finally all the inputs are basically coming in the second layer. On outer, you see there are 2 layers. One is outer layer, and another is inner layer. So it is feeding to the tasks, and finally it will be integrated and see these things, how the way they are functioning. Then see the competitors are there, tax environment. Now you see the tax environment, there are some competitors will be there. Then what the production, your production range, what type of product, maybe the other company is also manufacturing same product. So that you see your competitors, what the way they are functioning, their capacity, their capability, their effectiveness, everything you have to analysis accordingly. You have to put in your systems also what the things are marketing. Then regulations. Government has time to time some regulations are there. They are notifying that it has to be implemented. Customers are another big issue, big things. So customer is also a part of your tax environment. Then output as a product or as a services they are getting as a company. Every company has some objectives and that some product is a product oriented company or service oriented company. It just depends. Most of the public sector and working companies, they are service oriented. Suppose for the electricity supply and other, so they are in the service sectors for the social systems for the particular things. So some of the company in the productions, they are producing some of the items. So these are called the output. So this is the way organizational component systems are figured out. Now coming to your differentiation and the integrations. So organizational system is characterized by the 2 diverse forces. There are 2 forces that are acting. One, your 2 specialized functions are differentiated. Some of the functions are specialized functions. Organizations have divisions, departments, and they're like units separated out to perform the specialized activities. For example, the R&D. that units are basically the specialized department where they are creating the innovation work, some training and development, how to create the new productions. So that is basically your highly skilled people are working there. It's a specialized activity and they have to perform it. At the same time, in order to maintain the unity among the differentiated parts and form a complete whole, so every system has a reciprocal process of integration. As we know, the integration basically the sum of the things together. So reciprocate the thing basically is the anti-differentiations. Basically, the differentiated every parts are distributed manner and see the every part are functioning as a function they are working there. And the integration we are talking about as a overall all different differentiated parts are integrated. So in an organization, this integration is typically achieved through the methods such as the coordinated levels of hierarchy, direct supervisions, rules, procedures, and policies. Through this way, it is integrated. Some hierarchy levels there, all the who is reporting to whom. So this is the way it is integrated. And some rules are policies, rules, and some of the procedures are already formulated by the new organizations. So accordingly, all these things are coordinated. And this is the way the functions are going on. And this is the part of your, I can say, that the integration, you can say, where the integrated way, manner, all the policies and procedures are fulfilling or not. Now, see the open systems. There are two systems we are talking about. There is the closed systems and the open systems. Closed systems where the individual is self-contained and the isolated form of the environments. Suppose here actually I am just doing things. This is now I said within this monitor, I'm presenting something. Here, my wish, what are the things I have knowledge and delivering things. So this is totally the closed system right now. So there are two basic things, open and closed. The closed system is one that is self-contained and isolated from the environment. In this case, I'm now isolated. The environment conditions are not disturbed because we are noise-free, no noise is there. The room is totally protected in this way. So, but the open system where there is constantly interacting with the environment. In the basically the systems are like this. It is in open. So closed systems exist on the theory, but the real systems you interact with the environment. So organization as an open system. Let's see which are the things are you can see the open system. What are the characteristics of these things in the open systems? Number one, that is your subsystems. Because what are the systems? It is segregated with some different subsystems are there. So all the subsystems are again is integrated, but it is a functioning are different. Now synergy. What are the every energies are to be accumulated and give a thrust or give a force so that overall systems can be strengthened. So whatever the energies are there, when all the energies, small energies are departmental wise, finance, HR, what the total energy when you put together, then we can say it is a synergy. So input-output models are there. Then your goal-seeking open systems, entropy, then steady state and feedback systems are there. These all are the part of your open systems. So they are actually the cards and the can were the first to apply their open systems. There are so many theories are there. To organization in a comprehensive way. In 1966, they have applied the first things. Then organization systems may be expressed in the terms of input-output mechanisms. So in this way also you can interpret the things, that is input-output system. All systems transform from input to output. So the system is such a way, in the case of your open system case, what are the inputs are there, and this transform, and finally we can get a output. The mechanisms are there. The system is viewed as a transformation process in dynamic interactions with this environment. So there are three basic elements in the input-output models. So here, one of the things your inputs, then the processes and the outputs. As we see in the computer, every devices there are some things up there in the CPU. In terms of the computer science, you see there are some inputs should be there. You have to feed something, and finally it will be processed through these processes. And in terms of organizations also like this, what are the raw materials, what are the resources are there, based on the activities, policies, and target the tasks, and that is process their procedure, everything it has to be followed, and completion of the project as per the target to comply the all these things and finish the jobs. So when after they finish the jobs, we can say it is a output of the total things. So product, basically output in the case of product and services. Processing, this is what activities, the functions that are performing. For the transform of the resources, what are the resources? Now it is a transform in a different shape, different purposes as per the design. Now from this the diagram, environmental diagram, this is some system interactions with the environment. Here some of the things are given. You see again, it is a almost similar type diagram. In the center there is some transformation mechanisms. Transformation mechanisms are there. Before that some inputs are there, and after that your output. Initially, what are the resources? What are the resources are there? Your materials, your whatever the information, data, and then your human resources, manpower, definitely. So all these things are energies, everything, different process, resources, everything are as giving as a input. Then input device finally it will give you transformation process. Then transformation process basically what? Basically you have to do the perform the job within the 8 hours. You have to finish your job as per the standard, as per the precisely you have to do these all these things. Complete the rules as a correct way, as a precise way, and quality wise you have to finish the jobs. That is the basically transformations, the things. And finally you have to give output. And finally the end users for the product. If any product, that product should be used by the users, market, supplier or distributor. They have to distribute the things, and for the human beings basically. So that is the external interface you can see. One is your input interface for this resources to input, and another interface the user and or the external users. So this is the way the diagram is there. There are some internal interface are there. There is input, transformation, and output. There are internal, and external interface are user and others. Now, different approaches. The nature of the organizations can be better understood by using the different metaphors. So metaphors basically the Morgan illustrated, they define in the figures. They figure it out, the speech, the characteristics of the one object and transform them. So then mechanisms, basically the organizations as a machines. So we can consider as the organization as a machine where the things are coming and automatically as per the standard products going on. So that case we can say it is a machine type organizations. Then organizations as the organisms. Basically any human being or any your environment, there are some everywhere some organizations are there. The seeds are there, which are the trees, plantations, everything. This is some organism. Similarly, in the organizations also considering as a tree, big tree. So there is some process there. This is why different stages are there, and finally it will give output for a better way. The growth is there on these things. So we can say basically it is the environment and the organizations are in the same platforms. So we can consider the organizations are basically organism systems also going on. There is some brain, our body, some brain is there, and they're functioning. We are taking the foods, performing the jobs. Same thing, the organizations also for required everything. Brain, organization has a brain, just where the decision making process is going on, and very specialized work is going on. So that type of organizations, you can say, it's the brain organizations. Culture organizations also, they were diversified, different people are different, resources are coming, different people are coming, different background, different knowledge, and different decision-making process systems and cultures. So this type of organizations we can say is we can consider as a cultures. Political systems, then your cyclic fusions, organizations as a flux and transformations, the organizations as a instruments of the domination. There's so many different approaches are there. You have to identify which type is there, the nature of the organizations, where it is fitted based on their characteristics. Now, talking about the McKinsey 7S model. This is a very interesting model. It is implemented and tested by the McKinsey company. The organization's effectiveness stems from the interactions and the several factors. There are the framework of the organization change graphically shown below the suggested several important ideas. It shows the multiplicity of the factors that influence an organizational ability to change. The diagram that I have to show you some of the diagrams also there. How it has implemented, how it has integrated, and what is the intended to convey the notion of the interconnections of the variables. So there are so many variables are there, maybe in the structure, strategies, so many. So how it is integrated and what the way what are the variables are, how it is interconnected. That is the thing. The shape of the diagram is significant because when you see the significant, how it is significant, because there is no starting point. In this diagram, I show you. So there is no starting point. Everywhere you can start, and it is indicated to it. Or implying hierarchy. Actually, there is no basically hierarchy up there. Who is reporting to whom? No. So it has not the obviously the 7 factors would be a driving force. So all the factors are there. Then who can take a lead in the changing of the particular organizations at a particular point of time. Let's see the diagram. Now the diagram is as such. There are figure out. I will show the figures here. Actually, again, it is tabulated from structures 7S. That's why it is coming. Structures, strategy, system, staff, skills, style, and superordinated goals. There are every other first alphabets are S. So that's why we are calling it 7 S models. See the diagram. That is the McKinsey 7S model. In this model, you see there is no starting point. Basically, who is reporting to whom? It's everywhere. All are every as an individual standalone driving force. All are the standalone driving force and integrated such a way. So systems, again, you see it is interconnected with the 5 other elements, the components, we can say. So structure, again, it is interconnected with 5 connections. The 5 super obviously there is the centers. Then strategy is on one connection. Systems is connected. Style is connected. Individual, you see, particular considering as a structure, you see what the way it is connected. By both the sides, strategy and systems there. Another is your style and the skills is connected. And finally, it is connected with superordinate codes. Staff is also connected with the strategy and the systems. It means what are the objectives are fixed, goal has to be fixed, the design, the strategy, and when you are making the strategy, definitely considering these are all our influence part to make the strategy like this. So these are all are very interesting 7S model that it is already implemented also. They tested and implemented also. Now, historical perspectives. So there are some things out there, pre-classical era. And now I'm talking about the theoretical frameworks, unit number 2. where there are see the backside. When I mean the earlier what is happening, how it has come, what the way it is formatted, who are the people are contributed, and based on their research and their ideas, and slowly now today where we are now. So first, the pre-classical era before that, that time basically the you see the 2900 BC as a concept, it was reflected in the way of the Egyptian types. So they build and manage the pyramids, the conceptual models build. So this is the way the earlier it was happening. There are no basically no strategies like this. So now slowly uh, and finally the Robert Owen, he in the 71 to 1858 was one of the eminent contributors. He has come who worked towards the managing human resources. He worked with the human resources, how what to and by finally for the evaluations he sees the people are working very hard, long duration time they are working. So it has to be reduced. They have to take some sleep time for entertainment time, to give some family time. So that's segregated 8 hours labor time, 8 hours recreations, and 8 hours complete rest. So this is the way 24 hours is distributed. Earlier it was not like this. The company has to decide how many work to be 12 hours or 14 hours, depending on their capacity and their physics. They have to work hard. So Owen came up with the idea to manage the employees and considering them to different decisions. So therefore, we can say the Owen called the father of the personal management. So that's why it is called him, because he has first developed the things, and for the well-being of the employees, he has thought about for 8 hours time is distributed in such a way. Basically, it is for the human resource management purposes. Adam Smith, 1723 to 1719, he popularly known as the father of the modern economics. He was the first to emphasize the need for the specializations as essential factors for the productivity. Now, Robert Owen, okay, he has seen the human being, okay, they are working hard or something, they should have slept. She has distributed like this, fine. They have done. Now, Adam Smith, now a little advanced. He has feel that schedule type work they are doing, there should be some creativity, some specialist. Some of the jobs are really specialized. So there should have some skill enough, like is there. Should be there. So there's the need of these specializations are coming up because of it. So that we can create a productivity or enhance that productivity. Now, Charles Babbage, another professor, he is the mathematician at the Cambridge University. He observed mostly the organizations relate on the assumption. Based on the assumption, he would rely. So then he actually therefore emphasized the importance of the logic, science, and principles of the, and famously known as the father of the modern computing systems. So there are, you see from here that theoretical framework where actually you have to see some of the pre-classical area, what was there, and at the classical area, we are just seeing how it has created all these things. That is the way we are passing on, and finally we are coming in a modern era. So the industrial revolution has formed during that time. A lot of challenges are coming up and changes in the social technology part. Classical organizational theory, again the classical theory was the leading theory, is prevalent in the 1930s, but its demand for the machines and the productions lead to coordinated work method. The logic behind the theory was that to build the farm's efficiency. Now we are talking slowly are coming up the efficiency part, and after that some effectiveness also we have to see. So it is essential to work towards the efficiency of all the workers. these scholars usually focus on the top level efficiency in the organizations, so that it should flow, it should be downloaded, and as a company can be more efficient company, we can declare as a efficient companies. The classical organizations theories includes, there are three schools of thoughts: one of the scientific management, the bureaucratic management, and the administrative management. This is the way that different thoughts are there, different schools they are giving thoughts. And the pillar, basically the classical organization theory, there are defined in such a way that some fundamental, some solid pillars are there. One is the division of the work, then your scalar and the functional process, and the span of the control. There are three ways it is defined. First thing is division of the work is definitely required. You have to have a separate divisions where the work are particularly performed. There should not be any repetition. So that's why first thing, total tasks, total activities, what are the work that has to be distributed in such a way so that you can make some division or sections, whatever the way. Then they have to perform the things. So that is again is a concept by the Adam Smith. He has first given this concept to do these things. Then your functional, scalar and functional process. It is essential to maintain the clear communications channels. I think known as a scalar principle. Chain of, other way you can say it is a chain of command to establish authority and the command. Who is reporting to who? Senior, junior, whatever the things has to be. But if any problems, you can discuss any queries, any doubts. Somebody has to look after, so to monitor the things, must be a command of the things. Some command should be the other senior, like this. And it should be again is the integrated way. Everything has to be performed. Then structure. It is the implementation of the organizational goal, and then objectives should be certain level of the specifications and which the functions occur. Two basic structures ensure that how the relationship and the maintained. Organizational effectiveness is determined by the how efficiently the functions will be performed according to the set of the structures and define the responsibility. Here you see the structural systems are very challenging jobs, and it's not so easy because you are putting in some of the within the structure, seniors what their responsibilities, junior what the supervisor what to do it, in the frontline employees or their labor and the labor. So everyone jobs have been distributed in such a way that structure you have to make it. If the something is missing, then maybe it will be a damage the overall the structures. And everybody has to perform. If particular one of the sections within the structure, if particular section is not performing well, then whole structure will be affected because of that. So everybody has to define what the thing, and should not be overloaded, should not be underloaded. So structuring the things are very important. Should be ensured, basically that's it, should be ensured that the relationships are maintained also. So organizational effectiveness is determined by how efficiently your functions are will perform. Whatever the functions are there, how best they are giving. Now, span of the control are in a different. This is the primary purpose of having the span of the control to fix the number of subroutines. Because I am a manager, particular one divisions I have, I'm handling. So I should be based on this my work volume. I can demand that, sir, please provide me at least 6 supervisors or 6 junior engineer or junior persons I require to distribute the further work. So that is my span of control. So different things. So span of control can be possible. It can be performed nicely when the number of subordinates are less. You can perform more. You can give them more output. But when the span is more, so monitoring and looking after maybe sometimes it is challenging. It's maybe difficult to monitor the more number of subordinates. That case, you have to put another manager, and span can be distributed in such a way. So a narrow span control implies having few subordinates under the manager is called the executive span, because on the top level, if you see where the general manager or the regional head, they have less span control, because they have some two other deputy general manager. Senior general manager maybe he has a 2 or 3 deputy. He is taking the information, data, comment, decision making process, meeting, conducting the meeting within this level only. So maybe 4 or 5 persons are there taking the meeting, participation, all these things. But in the case of you see the frontliner or junior supervisor level, maybe he is handling 30 people. So, so this is the way you have to see the distribution of span control is very important when you are structuring the things. So in the top level, we are calling as a your executive span, and when the manager and subordinates, that case is the operative span, because they are in the operation systems, they are in the functioning in the level, so there we can say as operative or field span or operative span. Those who are in the productions. So this is our operative spans. In executive span, basically, are the decision-making process, meeting, they are creating the something, innovation, how to innovate the things, the thought process, thinking, think tank, as I can say. That is the process, basically, the executive span. Now, here see some of the pictures, it will be more clear if you see the span controls. Here, there are figures you see. The span control is seen basically wide span control. Basically, see there are wide span control. There are basically operation systems are going on, and there are a lot of people are working in the assembly shop or something, and one supervisor or one foreman are maintaining the things. They are controlling the things. Narrow space controls is not a wide. It's just like a pyramid shaped types. One person are reported to. In this case, see the narrow span control the span are distributed. So there is no much load, only putting the this is the way. So anyhow, it is a structural some bureaucratic organization systems are there. Span control numbers. Now you see here some of the we can talk about the scientific management approaches. Now we are almost the present scenario. The scientific management approaches are recently operating, and in this case, the Frederick Winslow Taylor, he knows the father of the scientific management movement. Because you see in my slides, I just try to highlight the name father of your classical system. All the authors are different times, Adams, and then what are the we have said. So you have to remember the things, who is the father of what. That things you have to note down sometimes, and when you are describing or something or answering, you have to definitely have to quote these things. So here actually the Taylor, we can see the father of scientific management movement. It was successfully moved forward by the Frank and Ian and Gilbert, Henry L. Gent, and Emerson. So Taylor also published many books. Yes, many books regarding the scientific management practices. Taylor also published many books on the shop management and your principle of the scientific management also. So Taylor used the famous time and the work study to plan and manage work in the organization. According to Taylor, it is necessary to systematically analyze this. He is saying the main thing, everything should be systematically analyzed, design, and investigate how the work gets allocated and performed. So this is that development he has done. And he has promoted the industrial engineering also. Actually the IR industrial engineering, or we can say the industrial relations, that concept of the management, that concept has developed by the Taylor to achieve the simplification and the efficiency of the procedures, because the procedure is very important to simplify. There should not be any cumbersome, no nitty-gritty. The procedure should be clear, and everybody should understand things. So then what can we seamlessly can do it? He suggested that the stress be minimized, because if your procedure is good, policy is good, there should not be any stress. And the training of the worker should be based on the specific analysis and scientific methods, Taylor says. So there should be collaboration to do the work, eradicating any conflict. There should not be any conflict, and collaboratively activity. He also suggests, Taylor also suggested that the traditional boss culture should be eliminated, because most of the private companies, multinational companies, we heard different way we can. Some conditions are there. The bossing is also something. So that should be eliminated. Some of the characteristics of the scientific management are given below. So now see what are the characteristics. These are some of the kind. One is the objectives, methods, and define the aim and approaches systems. Plans should be there, defined plan, definite plan. Then you discard the method. Some of the things are maybe the old, how to remove the things, how to implement a new one, cut down and the wastage, then emphasize techniques, changes in the attitudes, and the people basically set up rules. Maybe some of the rules are may not be required. Maybe the earlier it was set it. Now the new rule has to be included. Some specializations has to be scientific selections in person, especially R&Ds also. So it's all are the part of the scientific management. Now criticisms, because you have to welcome the criticisms of the classical theory. Here one thing we have to see, the human nature is multifaceted. So it is thought, it is though to understand the primary drawback of the classical theory is that they always assume to a human being as a part of huge machine. But neglecting the need of the related to the machine, you have to think about it. The human is the asset of the company, and accordingly you have to do it. So now the classical theory and basically the criticisms are important. So another drawback, because one of the drawback is the increase, because what we have decided or think, okay, he will do these things as per these things, but it may not be happen, because you can't predict or you can assume 100% this person will do this job, target, fulfill the target in 100% way. It may be 90%, it may be 80%. So depending on so many factors are there. So drawback, that's with increasing the monetary incentives could only the increase productivity. The primary source of the motivation is thus assumed to be your financial terms. So many factors are there to increase the things. Therefore, the theory emphasizes formal structures and relationships and consider the organizational fixed and rigid. So some of the formal structures he has suggested. So theory did not emphasize the decision-making process. Now, environment is one of the points. The environment and the context in which the organization operates are open. Therefore, the time and again the environmental factors will influence. The time is one of the influential. The environment is also one of the factors. How the organization functions and operates. So, but to consider the environment as the part of the decision-making process. It allows the capital incentive economics. The classical theory is primarily derived from the observation rather than analysis. So classical theory by the observation, and then there is no analysis, the logic or the facts. It is not maybe there. Initially, based on the observations, then after that you can put your analysis and logic and the facts. Subsequently, you can do it. So it is founded on the mechanism assumptions. So specification, then your scientific selections of the persons are there. Now, coming to your neoclassical approaches. There is a bucketing into the two school of thoughts. There is one the human relations school and the behavioral school. There are two school of thoughts are given. This is combined the things. Human relation thoughts are there. This is the school focus on how the relationships operated within the groups. So within the group, what type of relationships are there? On the other hand, the behavioral school focus on the way of the individual operated and what the way they are behaving. Behavioral science theories that group group behaviors, interpersonal relations have significantly influenced how human beings work and operate. So it's the behavioral theories. Now, some of the your Maslow, as we know, the motivations are important. Hesberg and the Bloom, your soon after the Maslow, they process the hierarchy systems. As we know, there are some contribution they have contributed. Individual who has attained the self-actualizations as per the pyramid. You see, first your the needs, psychological, physical needs. Then after that, some of the security. Then yours, as per the pyramid steps. Then your some of the your popularity, and finally, in the top, you can see the your actualizations, basically your self-actualizations. So this is the way the management development are there. It is contributing the management development. The motivation was highly emphasized at the task that individual undertakes act on the primary source of the motivations. So it is a motivational theory, basically, how to motivate the peoples and how to fulfill one by one steps. The workers operate in a given context and they cannot be treated as isolations. So workers are the part of the group and should be seen as a coherent basis, they have to do it. And obviously, the social affiliations is also important. It's a priority for the individuals. So therefore, they need to bond and relate the plays of the crucial roles. The salary and other incentives hold less importance sometimes than the need for the belongingness and connectedness. Because when you are people are top level, especially the duties, the responsibilities there, you have to connect with the supervisors or the lower levels. Just say have a rotation, just have a work management. I can say, hello, hi, how are you? Wow, any problem is there? So that type of touch is required. Human touch is required. Empathy is very much important. So this is the way they should feel some belongingness. Fundamental principles of the neurologists, of the individuals, and as a work group, then participated management, and unity of the comment. This is the way some of the principles has been derived and dismissed. Then some of the benefits. What are the benefits are there? And the several ways are you can see there's a clear communication patterns. The management can quickly establish how the roles, coordination of the structures, and clarity of the control span or control decision making. These are all other basically the benefits. Now, modern theories are, you can say the Siemens, the March and Siemens is organized and the modern theory has created where the interaction of the employees, communications, and the jail of work towards the goals and objectives play an essential role in fulfilling the organizational interest. So for the long-term purposes. Then system approaches are there, and these organizations are described the comprise a system of the interconnected and mutually dependent subsystems. The subsystems can individually have their subsystems like this, and thus the organization is a sum of the part and systems of the process. It is another approach where the subsystems are basically integrated in such a way so they can have a one as a team. The components, basically, it is we can describe in other way also. Include the individuals in the name of the employees and the formal, informal set of the communication structure and the relationships. The role and the responsibilities are specified, and as we know, there is a pestle, is the political economic, social, and your technological, legal environment. All these factors are there, which the employees work and complete their roles and responsibilities. These are basically there are components here. In short, PESTEL, TLE. Linking process, they are basically the corrections, the correlations between the different parts, subparts, and the communication depending on the communication parts. Then your decision making systems is required to show how individual patients are interviewing with the organizational process. Interacting basically the how it is doing the things. Goal of the organizations, the goals may differ according to the vision and mission. Statement of the organizations, it may vary. Then your socio-technical approach. Then contingency is another part. Situational approaches, you have to take some of the contingency plan, and it implies that considering the economical condition, environment condition, and the legal changes in the social context. So company has to do it. That is one of the part of your framework. The different guidelines are required to suit the changes. The universal set of guidelines does not apply to a dynamic environment because what are already set universal is the set is there, it may not be effective because the environment you don't know, the unpredictable things are there, unseen some things. So that's why some contingency approach should be situational. Maybe flood or something, war is going on. So maybe what the way it is affected. Maybe the environmental situation are different. What has already predicted earlier, how now the change is there. So environmental weather forecast, everything all are things. So fundamental assumption of the your modern organization theories. So this is the way. Your organizational structure, the entrepreneurial organizations, machine organizations, diversified organizations, define the way it is named based on your type of the business structures. Then professional innovation structures, machinery organizations, and then some of your organizational effectiveness. There are two things. One is your effectiveness and your efficiency. So effectiveness means it measures how successfully the organizations are reaching their goals. That's the important. Effectiveness is also one of the definitions that depends on the organizational context. So effectiveness, we can say the degree of which the organization achieves the goals and the set of the organization. How much target you are fulfilling. So you can say the effectiveness. But efficient company to achieve, we may refer that as being efficient organizations. How this capability is there. But effectiveness we can say when you are fulfilling the target. So effectiveness as one definition we can say depends on the organizational context. Now there is a goal model is there, and our internal process models are there. Different models, resources-based models, strategic contingency models. There are so many models are there. Based on this, we can improve our effectiveness in the organizations. Stockholder models are also there. They satisfy the stockholders is also important. Nowadays, is a very prime requirement. Customer satisfactions, contractors satisfactions is all are the stockholder models. Then competing value additions. Then abundance models. There's so many models are discussed here regarding how to improve the effectiveness. Then we have some of the things are there. There are open system models and human resource models. They are what the way it is interconnected. There's some stability control things are given here. Then some of the measurement, how to measure the effectiveness. Some of the Likert identifies three variables are there, how to measure the things. Then there are some casual variables and your intervening variables. This is so many ways we can measure the parameters of the particular effectiveness. How we can declare, yes, the structure is good, styles, everybody are skilled enough, policies are very good. So yeah, somewhere it has to be measured somehow. Then in result of the output variables, and then you have to evaluate, because evaluation is one of the important things. What you have done, it has to be evaluated. So therefore, evaluation, there some of the questionnaires are there. If you question the things, then automatically you can answer, or you can evaluate it very easy. You can decide the effectiveness of the evaluation. So there are basic 6 questions are there. What domain of activity should we focus on the evaluations? Then whose perspectives on the consistency point of view? Then what level of analysis should be used, and what type of factors should be employed, and what type of data should be used, and what referent should be employed. So all these type of structural questions are there. Based on this, you can evaluation process can be done, and how to improve the things. If you have a clear-cut mind in these questions, and if your question is the output will become on, and you can evaluate the things. So this is the way it is evaluated the part. So then some of the practices are there. The people practices, workforce capabilities, key performance drives. The HR becomes a very important role because they are making organizations. So nowadays, gradually increasing. All the HR departments are strengthening now. More and more manpower is required in our skilled manpower is required in the HR, because they have to do all these things. They are responsible to these things to reach the company as a very effective way, and to capacity building, basically performance drivers, all these things. The effective, efficient processes of the organizations. Then your product and the service output, operational objectives, or your part of your HR. Then some of the strategies are there to improve. You have to take some making a use of the human resource, and the focus on the education and the growth. How to educate the people's awareness. You have to develop the awareness so that you're making more leaders, changes in the leaders organizations. So that way, you have to SWOT analysis. You have to see what are the strengths, what are the weaknesses of the company, and accordingly you have to act. Where the weaknesses are there, you have to target the weakness from maybe the training, audit training. This is the way you have to improve. Where the lacking is going on. So that part of the focus on. If education is required or higher growth, or maybe you have to post to some of the university, go there and get the job done, or take this expertise. So this is the way you have to do it, so that the organizations can be in a very constructive manner. Then keep the customer's mind, and your work on the quality services. Use technology, all that, to improve the things. Training and development, as I said, the program should be in such a way, should be like this way. So okay, I think now I have to cover up the first block. So thank you very much.